Hi guys, and welcome to our channel, Any Thoughts? I'm Becca.
I'm Dan, sometimes.
Dan, why don't you tell us what this channel is going to be all about?
Well, this channel was kind of like a brainstorm between the two of us. I did a lot of I like to say a lot of random stuff and think random things and kind of, I don't know, strange, which you guys will get as this series goes along. But basically Rebecca kept telling me, hey, why don't we record that, put it on YouTube or whatever. So here we are on YouTube and entertain the masses, you guys out there. So, you know, here we are bringing my craziness to you guys, and it's just going to kind of be where we go through and we discuss, I don't know, different subjects and things. And I don't know if you guys can hear that cat right now, but I'm going to shut this door really quick.
Sorry, we have a kitten, 2.5 months old, and it's really noisy.
So, Becca?
If you have any subject that you'd like us to talk about, leave your ideas down below. If you'd like to comment on anything that we talk about today, leave those down in the comments at the bottom. And well, that's about all it for that. Let's start out by
For that?
yes, Dan. For that.
For that.
It's Larry
Yo.
Okay. The first subject that we're going to talk about is anime.
Anime, not animals.
No.
Although we have several of those
Right.
as well.
Anime, like Japanese animation. I have been watching anime since I was about 8 years old. My first anime was actually the Gen 1 Pokemon, followed by Card Captors and Diac Sign. You're being a jerk. I've spanned out over the years, and I've got a lot more under my belt now. And actually, when we met, I introduced him to anime. So why don't you tell us about your history with anime?
I have history with anime. Well, at first, you know, I thought it was kind of nerdy, and that this is what like nerds do. And sorry, there was a weird noise in the background. Hopefully, you guys didn't hear it. But it probably still is for nerds. I've just now become a nerd, so you know, woohoo, nerdness. I don't know. I like anime. It's really good. You know, most all of it's based off of like mangas, and mangas are like basically Japanese version of comic book. So I mean, I used to be really big into comic books when I was a kid. I loved Marvel and stuff. So, you know, and this like, I don't know, like comic books are cool, but like manga is like to the next like level, and it's awesome that they do like the animation of the mangas, because you know, you like read these things and you're like, man, it'd be awesome if someone like put that into like, you know, visual, so I can like see it actually happen rather than just look at, you know, like these storyboards that go along. And you know, like it's like what Marvel does with the movies and all that stuff, you know, you like actually get to see what happens. But I don't know, I think like a lot of times the storylines and things like that that are actually in these manga and anime are like just, they're way more like this. There's, you know, the sci-fi stuff, which is like just like kind of, you know, with like mecha and stuff and just all kinds of crazy stuff. But there's a lot of the storylines that are just so relatable to, you know, that you're like, oh man, like that's, you know, this character is like me, or you know, this is, I can see that happening to me, things like that. So it kind of like makes the storyline relatable, because like you don't always necessarily like relate to, you know, like the Spider-Mans or the Supermans or whatever, you know. Like, it's cool that they're there, but like, I mean, come on, Superman, he's like, his only weakness is freaking kryptonite. Like, come on, man. No human on Earth can relate to that. But also, he's not a human, so I guess that makes sense. But still, like, I like having the storylines that you can relate to.
Another thing that's really great about anime, this is basically like, for people that don't know anything about anime, or manga, either one of those, this is like beginner stuff. There are many different genres of anime, just like there are in movies. There's romantic, there's comedy, there's sci-fi. There's just tons of stuff that you can get into, and they range from tearjerkers all the way up to action sequences that'll just blow your mind. So if you're thinking, oh, you know, it's just a nerdy little thing, ask him. It kind of changes your perspective. If you should at least check out one anime in your life, because there are tons of different ones to check out. One thing that I do want to mention is we just got back from a convention. There's tons of different anime conventions you can go to. They're all over the United States. They've got them out of country if you live out of the country. You'll probably see some people wearing some weird costumes when it's not Halloween. That's us. It's called cosplaying. It's when you dress up to look like characters like the two that are sitting in front of me right here. And it's a lot of fun.
Not to be confused with LARPing. Okay? Because LARPing, I don't know what LARPing is. Well, I do, but it's like even more nerdy.
Yeah.
And sorry if I offend all you LARPers out there. Maybe you can explain to me how it's not nerdy, but essentially it's like if you ever played Dungeons and Dragons, which I've also never done, but it's like a live version of Dungeons and Dragons. Like, hey, I'm gonna go out and whack at another guy with this sword thing that I made that's wood, and I don't know why, but I'm gonna do it because it's awesome. That's LARPing. This is like cosplay, which is, you're not actually, like, you're just playing. Okay, I guess it kind of sort of is the same. I don't know. I forgot where I was going with this, but the point I was trying to make was that with cosplay, you're dressing up like the characters, and you're sort of acting like the characters, but not all the time. Like, it's just like, you know, when your character interacts with like another character or something, you know, and so like a lot of times you're like posing for a picture or something like that.
We did
but most
a lot
of the time
that.
you're just like walking around being yourself, just dressed up as like, you know, like if it was Halloween essentially.
Mm-hmm. Well, another really neat thing about the cons that you can go to is that you get to meet some of the actual voice actors of the animes, some of the creators of the Japanese version of it, and you also get to experience a lot of different people. For example, there are artists that come and fly in all the way from Japan to come to some of these cons to sell their art or to show it off, and it's a really neat thing. So that's pretty much our side of the story. We love going to the conventions. They're a lot of fun, and Dan's gonna play with don't knock over Kakashi. Those who don't know, this is Kakashi Hatake. He's from Naruto, one of my favorite animes. And this is actually Miku from Vocaloid, which isn't an anime. It is a animated girl who's in a group called Vocaloid. They do songs, and you may have seen them on the news. I think it's cool, but some people don't.
It's a band that doesn't have people.
Yeah. It's computer-generated characters. So they look more anime-ish.
But there are people who actually do the singing?
No. The singing is all done by a computer.
The voices?
Yes.
Computer?
Because they sound like, you know how when a computer talks to you, like, you know, real choppy? That's her voice.
Oh, that's annoying.
So, but I mean, there's different levels. They've gotten a lot better over the years. But they've also used a lot of their same kind of tricks in other related mediums, like, for example, Star Wars. Star Wars has a lot of animated CGI characters. So that's one of his favorite movies, so.
Star Wars Episode 5. Probably the best movie ever made. Because, for the simple fact that you get to see the good guys throughout the majority of the movie, like, winning. And then, there's a point in the movie in Cloud City where it takes a turn, and all of a sudden you realize, hey, this is not going to end well for the good guys. Which, in a movie, is a rare thing when the bad guys win. Because, like, out of all the movies I've ever seen, besides Star Wars Episode 5, I think the only other one I can think of off the top of my head where the bad guys won was some zombie movie where, like, at the end of it, all the people died and the zombies, like, took over. And it was like, okay, well, that was a waste of an hour and a half of my life. However, Star Wars is not going to waste your life.
Hopefully. Because,
well, I mean, I don't know, unless you become obsessed with it and that's all you think about, I guess, or something. But, so awesome.
So who shot first?
Okay. For those of you out there, and this is gonna, like, all the Star Wars fans out there, nerds like me, probably gonna get some comments down below, which is fine, because that's why we're here, because this is any thoughts at all. So, like, if you've watched Star Wars enough, like I have, and you can just, like, watch it over and over again, in the original Star Wars Episode 4, Han shot first in the cantina scene. But when George Lucas remastered it the first time, because it's actually been remastered like 3 times or something, I think. But, because the third time it was remastered was when they actually put it on the Blu-ray now. But, so, like, when he remastered it the first time, and that was like it was when CGI got a little better, and they actually re-released a lot of those movies. Like, it was after the, you know, Episode 6 had been made, they re-released 4, 5, and 6 in theaters. So, like, I went and saw this when I was a kid, but I had already seen it, like, on, you know, like, VHS, because that's what we had back then. But they re-released this in the theaters, and what they did was they edited the shooting scene in the cantina, and they made it where Han shot after he was shot at. What?
Okay. What do you? This is another controversy thing that. Any thoughts? I personally didn't mind the last couple that they made. Not too bad. I know he doesn't like them. That's the reason I'm bringing this up. What are the... Well, we'll go one at a time. I'll start with him. Pros and cons from the newest ones.
I mean...
basically, what were the good things about the movie and what were the terrible things about the movie?
Alright, well, I loved the fact that Yoda finally got to kick some serious butt. That was pretty epic. Although, it did look obviously CGI'd or animated or whatever. But it was still cool. The concept was cool. I wish they would have had a bit better, like, I don't know, technology at the time or something to animate that. Because it looked...
You could definitely tell it wasn't a puppet this time.
Right. But what was... That was cool. And then, you know, you got to see, like, the way Anakin became Darth Vader over the series of episode 1, 2, and 3. And so you just got to see him turn into Darth Vader, you know, which is cool. But I didn't really care for who they got to play him in episodes 2 and 3.
Hayden Christensen.
Not a big fan of his. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he'll watch this video and he'll, like, I don't know, dislike this video or something. I don't think he's going to watch this video, but who cares? But, so, like, there's that. And then, like, the biggest thing that most real Star Wars nerdy fans hate about 1, 2, and 3 is Jar Jar Binks.
He wasn't in 3,
I don't know.
I think he was just in 1 and 2.
Well,
correct me, you guys, if I'm wrong.
Good. I hope they killed him off in 3. Look, I only watched 1, 2, and 3 once. Alright, I can watch 4, 5, and 6 like over and over. And I can't deal with Jar Jar Binks. It's just like...
We said Jar Jar Binks.
Like that. Oh! Why? Like...
Let me stop him for a second.
Oh, man.
Because this kind of tells the age difference between us. I liked Jar Jar Binks then. I don't like him now. I think he's annoying now. But I was a kid when I went to go see episode 1. And all that goofiness that he had kind of kept me going through the movie because I would have fallen asleep. So he was comedy relief in it. It kept me watching. But if they didn't have him in there and they just, you know, wiped him out, C-3PO was always doing comedy relief anyway. So who cares?
I like C-3PO. Anthony Daniels is awesome as C-3PO.
I agree. Okay, so pros and... I guess it's my turn for pros and cons.
Wait, oh, one more pro. Qui-Gon Jinn. Because he's awesome. But it made me sad that he was only in the first one.
Yeah.
So.
Did have a quick question for him, though, before I do my pros and cons. What did you think of the Obi-Wan compared to the old one?
Well, I liked that they got...
I think it was a relative of his.
Yeah, well, Ewan McGregor played the young Obi-Wan, and I can't think of his, but it was his uncle who played Obi-Wan in 4, 5, and 6. And so, like, if you really pay attention, they actually kind of look alike, which is awesome because, like, how many times do you get, like, you know, characters that, you know, like, where you can do that? It's just
yeah, because apparently
cool.
Anakin dyed his hair dark because it was blonde in the first one.
Right.
But anyway, that's okay. My turn for pros and cons. Let me just say this first. I really like the originals. They were a little scary because, like I said, I was little when I first watched these movies. But the first 3, I think out of the 3, my favorite is actually the third one. I know they used a lot of CGI in that, and all of them really, But even though they used a lot of CGI, I don't think some of those battles would have been the same without it. Actually, another reason that I'm really glad for CGI is General Grievous. General Grievous was like one of my favorite villains of all time in the Star Wars. Because he looks so cool. He's not like anything else I've ever seen. I feel sorry for him though. Because he's constantly gagging throughout the whole thing. But I mean, he looks cool. I can't remember. There's a little creature in the. I'm sorry. He's a lizard. In the third movie. He's really cool. Obi-Wan rides him in one of the sequences. And I liked him. He's weird because he's a huge lizard, but he has a bird beak and feathers. And I thought that was really cool. You don't see many of those. That looks more like an anime created character because of the differences. Now, the cons for me now is, especially Jar Jar, I think some of the storyline kind of didn't go as well as was planned. It was a little shaky, especially on episode 2. Because we got more into the lovey-dovey and we lost most of the other storyline. It was like Padme and Anakin, and that was it. There was, which was important, but the rest of what was going on just didn't happen. So that's my main opinions. All in all, I liked them. He did.
Which brings me to the next point, which is I hope that now that Disney has a hold of the rights to Star Wars and they're making 7 and it's coming out this December, December 31st.
And the trailers look awesome, by the way.
I am hoping and just like wishing, using the Force to will it, that it'll be awesome, because after 1, 2, and 3, I know a lot of Star Wars fans, especially like me, when they first heard that they're like gonna make a 7, I was like, ooh. And I heard Disney had it, so all I could think of was like Pirates of the Caribbean, and I'm like,
or singing Princess Leia.
Oh,
that's what I thought of.
Cause like, don't get me wrong, Pirates was
I like the first one. The
okay,
first one was awesome.
But I was like, do we really need like 17 of these movies? Because I mean, like, dude, Johnny Depp, you got enough money. It's all right. Go do something else. We've had enough of the gay pirate. But so I was just, I'm worried. But then find out that they're bringing like all the original cast back. You got, you know, the Peter Mayhew, the guy who played Chewbacca, he's playing Chewbacca. Anthony Daniels is playing C-3PO. Harrison Ford is coming back as Han Solo. And Mark Hamill is going to play Luke. Carrie Fisher is going to play Leia. So like all the original...
You forgot one. What is his name? From Cloud City. He's coming back too.
Oh yeah.
Forgive us, I don't remember his name.
He plays Lando.
Lando Calrissian.
Lando Calrissian.
But he's coming back.
But he's coming back as well, and he actually just had a thing on, you know, like Dancing with the Stars or something. But so they're all coming back, which is just so cool. And they got J.J. Abrams, and I'm hoping that he'll, you know, try to bring back what we had with 4, 5, and 6 into 7, and just, you know, make it that awesome storyline that when people watch it and they, you know, see it, they just want to be like, you know, they can like relate to the storyline and yet, you know, be amazed at how awesome and, you know, I guess futuristic it is. But I'm also hoping that they don't get too carried away with like the crazy CGI stuff, because this is supposed to happen after episode 6, so like they need to not get like just because like I feel like that may have been part of the issues with 1, 2, and 3 was they like outdid 4, 5, and 6 with the like
they were like
CGI and stuff because
Yeah.
it was like a new thing, so they're like, oh, CGI, we got to try this and
yeah.
do it, and it's gonna be awesome. And it's like, no, because you replaced
Yeah,
all the
'cause
storyline with
4,
with
4, 5,
CGI.
and 6, they did a lot of model scale stuff. And for example, if a fighter blew up, they'd actually set like a little firecracker off on it, so it looked like it blew up.
right. Well, see, I mean, 4, 5, and 6.
So they were being creative.
Right, because I mean, the first movie came out in 1977, so you got to take into consideration that the technology was just not there. I mean, the fact that they could shoot these scenes and then edit in like laser beams after the fact, that alone in 1977 was like impressive.
Or a lightsaber.
Or a lightsaber, because yeah, those guys, they weren't, actually using.
He still
actual
wants
lightsabers.
one.
Which, by the way, if there's any scientists out there watching this video, still waiting on my lightsaber. Still waiting on my lightsaber. Okay? Like, by now, we should have lightsabers for, like, cutting butter. Like, like a butter knife. It should be a lightsaber knife. Like,
I think it's funny though when you actually, if you guys, and I've done this, if you guys go online and you look up like Star Wars kitchenware, they actually have a Darth Vader helmet waffle maker.
What?
Where it looks like his mask.
I haven't seen that.
It looks awesome. They also have a toaster. It didn't do anything
Oh.
special, but it's just a toaster, but it has like stickers all over it. You could probably just go buy a white toaster from Walmart and just do it yourself.
I like waffles. I like Darth Vader.
That's a
Darth
good color.
Vader waffles.
They also have salt and pepper shakers. They have.
Yeah, you almost said
Shut
something.
up! They have.
We're trying to keep this PG-13, Becca.
Sorry for Deadpool. Look up the April Fool's joke and you'll get that. They have all kinds of stuff. They even have a Han Solo frozen in carbonite refrigerator.
Hey,
It looks cool.
I have seen where they have Han Solo frozen in carbonite ice cube trays.
Oh, yeah.
And they also had not Darth Vader.
They have the.
They had Death Star
Yeah.
ice cubes as well, which I thought was cool.
That's clever. It is. It's clever.
Why are we talking about food?
Well, let's talk about food then. What is
I'm
your
hungry.
favorite? Oh yeah, me too. What is your favorite food?
Favorite food? Like favorite type?
Yeah, let's start with type first.
Greek.
Greek. Okay.
Although I do like Italian too.
Okay. Out of those two, what are your favorite dishes? Euros?
Euros. Yeah. Because you could totally live on Euros. Like, if you had to pick a food that you could live on and sustain you forever, just one food, it'd be Euros. Because you got bread and meat and lettuce and tomato and whatever the other thing is, onion.
They use a cucumber sauce, don't they?
And yes, tzatziki sauce is what it's called.
I didn't know.
And it is like the best sauce ever. And it just makes the whole thing but the lamb meat is like, oh.
Calm down. Calm down.
I want to live on Euros.
Okay. So, what is your personal favorite recipe to make here at home?
Ooh. Well, I do like to cook.
Okay.
I should probably learn how to make Euros. But out of what I know how to make, I'm I'm a better baker than I am a like a.
This is the Cookie Monster
cooker?
sitting next to me.
Cooker? I'm not a cooker. I don't
He's a baker.
I'm a baker. You don't call him a cooker. You call him a chef. I think. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's a chef.
Whatever the one that cooks, I'm not as good at that as I am at baking. So, probably let's see. Personal favorite recipes. I mean, like, I really like making, like, basically, like, sugar cookies, but then I alter the recipe, and I'll, like, flavor it with, like...
He makes his own icing to go on top.
Yeah, I make my own icing, but I like to take, basically, like, it's my mom's recipe for sugar cookies. I take that recipe, I essentially make up the sugar cookie dough, and then I alter it, and I'll put, like, I'll either flavor it like raspberry flavor or something like that. And then I make my own icing from scratch. And then put like a nice coat of icing on it, and it just hardens and glazes up, and it's so good, isn't it?
Last time he baked cookies, he made a turtle cookie. Like, it looked like a little turtle. It was cute. I wish I had a picture. It was adorable. He even made, like, green sprinkles to put on it. It was cute.
And then I ate it.
He ate it. So that's your favorite, like, sweet to do. What about, do you have any, like, recipes, like slow cook recipes, or maybe breakfast or dinner, or basically anything like that?
I mean, I like using the slow cooker a whole lot. I don't know. I really kind of like the pot roast we just made, but
It's so good.
but I think there was this one recipe, and I don't know if we can find it ever again. But we made like this chicken ranch stuff one time
With potatoes.
with potatoes, and it was like the best
ever.
dish that we've ever
Oh my
made,
gosh.
like here at the house. Like,
Wow.
so good. Originally the recipe called for like Italian dressing, and so I altered it with ranch,
And barbecue sauce. Oh, it was so good.
and it was amazing.
Oh, man.
Amazing.
We haven't made that in a long time. We need to find that recipe again.
That'd probably be my favorite, like, actual food recipe. But I like to bake better. What about you?
Well, I guess start with favorite food.
Yeah, what's your favorite food?
Well, my favorite type of food is Chinese, which goes along with my love for anime. I know that's Japanese, but same thing.
What?
I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. I know there's a difference. I've actually never had Japanese food. Only Chinese, so I need to actually try that. But I love lo mein noodles. I also love, I think it's coconut shrimp. It's really, really good. I'm from Louisiana. So I like pasta dishes, but I also... Oh, shut up. I love jambalaya. Jambalaya is amazing.
Jambalaya is really good.
I also like gumbo, which...
Ooh, Natchitoches meat pies.
Oh my goodness. If
Giving
you guys have
giving
never...
a shout out to Natchitoches.
Natchitoches, you guys are awesome for creating
Town that
meat
you've
pies.
probably never heard of in your entire life.
But I don't know. I go to Florida. We went to Florida not too long ago. And for some reason, whenever you order like a seafood dish there, it's just bland to me. It's not. There's not enough seasoning. I'm missing my Tony Chachere's. That's what it is. No Tony Chachere's. And it's healthier, but it just, to me, it seemed dry. But anyway, my favorite personal recipes to make here, I think my favorite recipe that I've actually made was my breakfast quesadillas.
Oh, those were good.
They're not hard. If you guys would like me to write down the recipe, leave some comments below and I'll do.
Maybe we could put it in the description.
We'll put it in the description if you guys want it. It's not hard.
Or we'll
So it's
put
a
it
little
as a
hard to flip
comment
it
below.
over, but it's a little messy. But who cares? Not as messy as The Sims are. Oh my goodness, this. We play Sims, and have you ever noticed that whenever they're cooking in the kitchen, they break an egg and then they just throw it behind them?
Or like in The Sims 4, which I've started playing, they'll like drop the thing like onto the stove, and it's like burning on the stove, and you're like,
And they're like, no, let me just put it back in the pan, it's fine.
And then they'll drop like the whatever seasoning thing they're using into the thing, and they're like, oh.
What do you think about the transition? I haven't played Sims 4 yet, but he has. I played Sims 2 and Sims 3. Still playing Sims 3. What do you think is the biggest difference between the two? Sims 3 and 4, I mean.
Wait, between which ones?
Sims 3 and 4, the gameplay.
Well, I think when Maxis and EA, when they redid Sims 4, and they didn't really redo anything. It's a whole new game, which is what I was getting at. They essentially took like a lot of the stuff from 3, and they just kind of like were like, let's get rid of that, and let's just redo how this works. So like interactions between like people, those work different. Like the way, like when a sim interacts with say a stove or whatever, just their interactions with said object are different. In that it's more like as your sim learns skills, say for example like the cooking skill, they stop dropping the thing into the food, and they stop like flipping it onto the stove, and they, you know, and they actually like change the way that they cook and stuff, and you know, like
instead of it just, oh, it leveled up, oh, it leveled up.
Right. And I think in Sims 3 there was a bit of that, but it was a lot less because in Sims 3 they didn't really have the, oh, I don't know how to cook thing going on, because it was just like, oh, let me throw this egg behind me and here I am cooking, and you know, it would tell you like, oh, the food quality's terrible
or
burnt or whatever, but like the interaction was always the same.
Mm-hmm. So
like they've changed that, which is cool. It makes for better gameplay, because then you know it feels more realistic, which is the ultimate goal of The Sims, because you're playing a simulated person. So I mean, that's cool. And I think there's not necessarily, it's still a new thing, so they haven't come out with all the expansions and stuff, like you don't have pets and stuff in it yet, but I am sure that all that is coming. It's just, you know, like when Sims 3 first came out, you didn't have all that stuff, so like it takes time to get to that point. But I mean, Sims 4 is like, you know, here's 2, here's 3, and then Sims 4 is like up here. It's just like the whole next level. I mean, they rewrote like a lot of the AI kind of stuff too, like the way the sim will like take care of themselves. They just rewrote it, and the greatest thing about it is like right now they're coming out with like a couple of stuff packs. They just came out with a new one. Was it today or yesterday?
I think it was yesterday.
Yesterday, I think. It's like a backyard patio one, which is awesome. Cool. Yeah, I think it was actually today that it came out. It just came out today. Which, by the way, today is Tuesday. Or, well, no, actually, today is now...
Yeah, so it was yesterday.
Wednesday, so
Sorry,
it
guys.
was yesterday. So, but yeah, that just came out, and it finally adds like hot tubs, so you can have a hot tub again. Because like in Sims 3, you
get
could
a
have hot
tub.
tubs and stuff. But like Sims 4, the best you could do was a pool.
Mm-hmm.
But what's cool in Sims 4 is like the way you build and stuff has changed even. So like there's so much more you can do with like the houses and the building.
Not just that, but the cabinets, you can actually move them up like at the top of the wall. Before you just it's just stuck there, but now you can actually move it around.
Well, yeah, that's just.
Well, that's in build, so that's different.
Well, that's standard mode, and then you can also like if you want to, you can cheat it in where you can actually move objects on, and you can put that sucker anywhere you want it. So you'd have like cabinets like this.
Another thing that I really liked about between any of the other Sims and Sims 4 so far that I've actually watched him play is that the Sims can be, for instance, eating
and talking
and maybe running on the treadmill and they can talk. So I mean, it's not like they can just do one thing now.
Right, yeah. So like it's more. That was kind of the. Thank you. That's the example. So it's more lifelike in that, like, hey, I'm sitting here eating lunch with my wife, and while I'm eating, I'm going to talk to my wife.
They did that in Sims 3 too, but now it's more like I'm playing on the computer and I'm talking to the person next to me. That's more of what it is now.
Oh, okay. You can do the eat and talk?
Yeah, the eat and talk, you could sit at a table and do that. But the main difference, though, is when you're sitting at the table, I don't think, correct me guys if I'm wrong, but I think in Sims 3, it was just like spontaneous, like they were doing it on their own. I don't think you can actually click on the next person and be like, discuss computers, discuss this, discuss that.
What I like about Sims 4, and I'm pretty sure you couldn't do this in Sims 3 because you couldn't multitask, is that in Sims 4, you can like make your guy run on the treadmill, which will level up his fitness skill, and if you have a TV right in front of it, you can watch TV, and specifically you can watch like the comedy channel, and if you do that, it'll level up your comedy skill. So you can actually level up 2 skills at the same time by essentially doing one activity because you're just running on the treadmill watching the comedy channel.
So you can watch the cooking channel and learn how to cook while you're working out.
I have the cooking channel, but I mean,
whatever.
If
they had it in Sims 3. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I haven't played with it like enough. I need to become more of a Sims 4 expert.
Yeah.
But
another thing that they're doing now is they actually let you go to work with your Sims.
Oh, yeah. Dang it, that's what I was going to say. Because I was talking about the packs that came out and how they had the new one, but then I forgot that's what I was going to say was so awesome.
But it's only specific jobs so far. Not all of them.
It's 3 jobs. There's like the cop, the scientist, and the doctor.
Yeah.
So like, and you don't start off as like a doctor, you start off as like a lab tech or something or whatever. And then like a scientist helper or something. I don't know.
Probably a janitorial department.
No, it's like a lab tech or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's way better than we actually get.
For my character, myself, that's the one I picked for me.
Okay.
You're a musician though, but you can't follow the musician to work yet, so.
Which brings us to this. We have 2 different playlists. We have a couples Sims 4 play where basically he'll play and we'll both kind of sit there and narrate and go through.
We're not gonna like narrate what they're doing.
Not like that.
Where it'll be more commentary, kind of like what we're doing right now, just kind of talking. Although it'll be about the Sims, not necessarily random stuff like this, where it's like, hey, anime, and then Star Wars, and then food, and then
whatever else we've talked
Sims,
about.
and then Sasquatch, and then the one guy that walked by the other day and his hair was on fire. So.
But anyway, we have 2, and I'll let Dan tell you more about those 2.
Yeah, so there's two other playlists, and they'll be linked somewhere.
They're somewhere on the screen.
I'm gonna just point to random areas of the screen here, so that way I'm not wrong wherever I put them on the screen. Probably like right about there would be good. But so we have 2 other playlists. One is our couples play, which since we've just started this channel does not actually have any videos in it yet. That's the one where we're going to be playing as ourselves, but like in kind of our dream house, which is like this huge mansion-y thing. And basically the goal now is to be able to support ourselves and the house that we're in. And then the other playlist is a solo play where it's me playing. And I believe what I'm going to do is kind of like a rags to riches thing, which I borrowed from a guy named James Turner, who does the Sims Supply. And there's probably somewhere right over.
We're gonna link to his channel as well.
Well, it's in
Check him out.
It's in our favorites channel, right over here. Favorites channels. I don't know why I totally like favorite channel. But he's got 2 channels, the Sims Supply and Flatalicky. And what he does is kind of the same thing. He goes through and does like gameplay of all different games, you name it. He may have done it. Game-wise, I meant. But so he's really cool, and he's the one that kind of helped me get. Well, he didn't personally help me, but he inspired me. That's the way he helped me to like do this on my own. So hopefully I'll be able to entertain you guys with that and not bore you to death, because I don't want to do that, because he's really entertaining, and hopefully I'll be as entertaining or maybe more so. So look for those and check those out. And what else? But I think we're gonna
call it quits for today. Thanks, you guys.
Be sure to subscribe. It's down there. Link
and
somewhere.
remember to check out our Sims playlist.
Check out our
Sims
different
ones.
Playlist. And leave us some subjects to discuss for the next time.
And your thoughts from this video.
And give us your thoughts.
And that's all for today. So we'll see you later on Any Thoughts.